The infected, sometimes simply referred to as zombies by survivors, are very similar to the zombies from classic movies. But instead of being undead, they are living humans infected by the green flu virus. This infection causes extreme aggression and the massive loss of many higher brain functions, such as speech and self-preservation. Like cinematic zombies, the ones in the Left 4 Dead game relentlessly attack human victims until they are either killed themselves or succeed in killing their target. In the cases of common and uncommon infected, their aggression manifests primarily through frenzied punches and kicks. Biting attacks are secondary and may even occur incidentally. The infected primarily attack uninfected humans who attract their attention through noise, movement, bright lights, or anything covered in boomer bile. Common infected are also frequently observed showing mutual aggression toward each other. However, these attacks stop when the infected locate and focus on a healthy human. Psychologically, it seems that both common and special infected are unable to recall their lives before turning. For example, Carolyn attacked her husband Wade shortly after contracting the green flu. Sandra attempted to kill Francis moments after speaking to him normally. Church Guy tried to kill the survivors right after opening a door for them, and Jimmy Gibbs Jr. attacked Coach and Ellis even after they recognized him and called him by his old name. The infection may also have altered their physiology. Some infected suffer severe tissue damage and dismemberment from moderate blunt force, but can still leap from heights of about 20 feet with perfect physical coordination and no harm. They lack fine motor control, and their gross motor control is significantly degraded, making them unable to pick up objects or operate simple mechanisms like door handles. When in a passive state and unstimulated, common infected leans against walls, sit, or simply stagger aimlessly with short, uncoordinated steps. Many will vomit profusely or display visible signs of discomfort. Common infected have also been observed attacking and killing other common infected. The cause of this behavior remains unknown. Special infected and uncommon infected tend to be less inert in their passive state, as they are invariably seen standing. When active and stimulated, common infected display starkly contrasting characteristics, moving quickly with highly coordinated strides and unerring focus. Uncommon infected exhibit the same behavioral traits, except they appear more sensitive to external stimuli, becoming agitated and provoked more easily. Some even have the ability to attract other infected. Through an unknown mechanism, a small percentage of infected humans undergo dramatic mutations, eventually transforming into one of the special infected. There are 8 varieties of these infected, each possessing special abilities in addition to inflicting more damage on survivors. Among these, 2 are considered boss infected, such as the case of the Tank and the Witch. Common infected. As their names suggest, common infected are the most frequent enemies and the easiest to defeat. They resemble the infected from the movie 28 Days Later more than the typical cinematic zombie. Their strength lies in their tendency to attack in large groups of up to several dozen, known as hordes. However, the danger they pose should never be underestimated. While they appear capable of ignoring pain, they can still be killed easily. They can climb stairs, scale objects, and break down weak walls and doors. They are unable to break through the doors of safe rooms, making survivors relatively secure inside a closed safe room. This type of infected is attracted to flashlights, loud noises such as car alarms, or boomer bile. They seem to lack self-preservation instincts but display some intelligence, as shown in the hard rain and the passing campaigns. Hordes will attack when a storm breaks out and visibility is minimal. Throughout Left 4 Dead, the physical appearance and clothing of common infected are consistent with the particular locations being visited. For example, at Mercy Hospital, the infected include medical staff, patients, and maintenance personnel, while at Metro International Airport, common infected include flight crews, cabin staff, ramp workers, and business executives. In more neutral locations like Riverside or Daugherty Farm, common infected appear as generic civilians, including military personnel in camouflage, office workers, clerks, and adults of various ages and genders. The same principle applies in Left 4 Dead 2, but given the diverse settings of this game, the range of physical variation shown is considerably broader compared to Left 4 Dead. Uncommon infected. The second game introduced 7 special types of zombies known as uncommon infected. Each uncommon infected is unique to the campaign in which it appears, excluding DLC campaigns, and has its own special ability, making it slightly to moderately more dangerous than a regular common infected. To begin with, Dead Center features the Ceta Worker infected, which is immune to flames and has enhanced health. Additionally, Jimmy Gibbs Jr. also appears here. He is immune to flames and is as durable as a witch, but can be killed with a single headshot. Moving on, the passing introduces the Fallen Survivor, which can drop first aid kits, Molotovs, pipe bombs, or pain pills, and has increased health. Notably, their helmet makes headshots more difficult, and they tend to flee when injured. In addition, Dark Carnival features the Clown Infected, whose squeaky shoes attract nearby common infected, making them a unique challenge for survivors. Similarly, Swamp Fever presents Mudmen, whose attacks slightly blind a survivor's vision. They crawl rapidly on all fours, making them harder to detect. However, despite their agility, pipe bombs can still easily kill large numbers of them. Furthermore, Hard Rain introduces Worker Infected, who wear earmuffs, rendering them unresponsive to pipe bombs. They will only pursue bile bombs if the bile lands on any infected. Interestingly, their helmets appear to be purely cosmetic, as they do not prevent headshots. Lastly, the Parish features Riot Gear Infected, which can only be killed by attacking them from behind due to their body armor. However, their primary weakness is a chainsaw, which can instantly kill them. Special Infected. Special Infected are more intelligent than common infected, as they are not attracted to car alarms or loud noises, and can retreat if necessary to set up an ambush. They are also more aggressive, actively attacking survivors rather than sitting passively in a stupor until disturbed. Except for the Witch and Tank, who will wait until alerted or attacked by survivors. The Boomer. The Boomer is a special infected that vomits a special bile onto survivors, temporarily blinding them and attracting a horde of common infected. From a distance, the Boomer is not a significant threat. Its large size and low health make it an easy target for mid to long-range weapons. Upon death, the Boomer explodes, covering nearby survivors with bile, blinding them and causing them to stumble backward. Boomers can be anticipated by the constant gurgling noises they make. In Left 4 Dead 2, there is also a female Boomer, though gender has no effect on gameplay. The Hunter. The Hunter is a special infected with the least visible mutations and can easily be mistaken for a common infected. The Hunter is incredibly fast and agile, capable of climbing walls quickly. It can pounce on survivors, pinning them down and clawing at their abdomen until the victim is killed or the hunter is knocked off or killed by another survivor. Physically, hunters are not very robust. Their relatively low health makes them easy to kill. When crouching to prepare for a jump, the hunter growls and launches itself at nearby survivors. However, while standing, it makes no noise, making it the only special infected capable of remaining completely silent. In Left 4 Dead 2, hunters can be killed with melee weapons while in mid-attack by aiming upward and striking, though this is difficult due to the precise timing required. It is generally easier to kill them from a distance with a high-powered weapon. The Smoker. The Smoker is an ambush class infected that can strangle survivors with its long tongue, similar to the Barnacle in Half-Life. Another survivor's assistance is required to free someone from a smoker's grasp. As its name suggests, smokers emit a cloud of smoke when killed, impairing the survivor's vision. Smokers frequently cough, signaling their presence to survivors in the area. They can pull captured players toward themselves with their tongues, but they remain stationary and cannot move. Once their tongue is cut or the survivor is freed, the smoker is momentarily paralyzed, giving survivors a brief window to attack. In Left 4 Dead 2, smokers have 6 tongues, though this seems to be purely cosmetic. The Tank. The Tank is the largest and strongest of all infected, reasonably fast but slowed when hit with sustained fire from automatic weapons or when set aflame. It is the only boss infected that players can control. The Tank has incredible strength and endurance. Its punches can send survivors flying, leaving them temporarily defenseless. And in expert mode, it incapacitates survivors instantly. It can also hurl chunks of concrete ripped from the ground, stunning survivors and causing the same damage as a punch. Additionally, the Tank can swat large objects, for example, cars, towards survivors with enough force to incapacitate them instantly. The tank's immense durability and devastating power, combined with its extreme mobility, make it challenging to defeat without teamwork or strategy. When inactive, the tank makes a heavy breathing noise. Survivors are alerted to its approach by dramatic music, furious roars, and screen vibrations when it is dangerously close. The Charger. The Charger is a special infected introduced in Left 4 Dead 2. Its primary attack involves rushing forward and plowing into survivors, hence its name. If it successfully hits the survivor, it grabs them and slams them against the ground, walls, or ceiling until freed by an ally. If it misses and crashes into a surface, the Charger stumbles for a few seconds, leaving it vulnerable. Survivors can detect the Charger by its distorted growls and loud roar before charging. Its right arm, large and rocky, delivers most of its force, while its left arm hangs limp and useless. Due to its size, the Charger cannot be pushed back by melee attacks and must be killed to free its victim. Explosive rounds can cause it to release a captured survivor. The Charger is particularly deadly in narrow hallways or near high ledges, where survivors can be thrown to their deaths. The Jockey. The Jockey is another special infected introduced in Left 4 Dead 2. It is a small infected creature that attacks survivors by leaping onto their backs and riding them while clawing at them. The Jockey can steer its victim in a desired direction, effectively controlling the survivor. It will only release its victim if incapacitated or killed. Survivors being ridden can resist the Jockey, slowing it down and causing it to pause briefly, giving teammates an opportunity to knock it off. Jockeys are especially dangerous because they can lead survivors into hazards, witches, other infected, or even off cliffs. The Jockey's hunched appearance, possibly due to kyphosis, gives it a distinct, twisted look. Its manic laughter reveals its location, and its constant movement adds to its hyperactive nature. The Spitter. The Spitter is a special infected capable of launching a ball of green acid from long distances. Upon impact, the acid spreads into a pool, damaging survivors who step into it. After spitting, the Spitter is momentarily paralyzed, giving survivors a chance to kill it. The Spitter's sharp noises also give away its position. The longer a survivor remains in the acid pool, the more damage they take. This makes the Spitter particularly effective when used alongside other special infected. For example, a Spitter can increase the damage dealt by a hunter pinning a survivor. However, despite its useful ability, the Spitter has very low health, making it easy to kill. When killed, the Spitter leaves behind a smaller acid pool with the same damaging effects. The Witch. The Witch is a rare special infected that appears only a few times per campaign. She is passive unless provoked by flashlights, gunfire, or survivors getting too close. The Witch is the second boss infected. She is highly dangerous, capable of incapacitating or even killing survivors with a single strike. The Witch cries loudly, and survivors will warn each other to turn off their flashlights upon hearing her. While she can be killed, her high health makes it difficult. It's usually best to avoid her if possible. Witches are startled if a survivor gets too close, shines a flashlight on her, or deals any damage. Once provoked, she will chase her target relentlessly. In Left 4 Dead 2, a variant called the Wandering Witch appears during daylight campaigns. She roams aimlessly, sobbing loudly with her head in her hands. Unlike seated witches, the Wandering Witch is harder to avoid due to her movement, but is less easily provoked by flashlights. Unused infected concepts. Originally, there were plans for a special infected called the Screamer. Dressed in a straitjacket, the Screamer would flee and hide from survivors before emitting a scream to attract a horde. However, it was removed because playtesters found it too difficult to locate and kill before it summoned the horde. Its ability was repurposed for the Boomer's Bile. Another unused concept was the Leaker, which had abilities similar to the Spitter and Boomer, and could bury itself like a landmine. It was cut because its activation signals were too obvious, rendering it ineffective in combat. Hey, don't go just yet. If you enjoyed my video, I'd love to recommend another one for you to watch.